What is leadership? Definition. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration. That inspiration is generated by a passion, which is motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, produced by a purpose. Long sentence, every word is important. I'm going to read it again. What is leadership? Leadership is the capacity to influence other people through what? Inspiration. Generated by what? A passion. Motivated by what? A vision. Produced and birthed by what? A conviction. And the conviction comes from what? Your sense of purpose. So leaders have all of these qualities in their lives. Each one of these words are important because they describe a certain attribute of leadership that has to be present for a person to be defined as a leader. People who impacted their generation, they all had these qualities. And you cannot become a leader fully until you encompass all of these qualities. So, here's my recommendation. If you want to become an effective generational leader, you have to turn this sentence upside down. And you start from the bottom. Here's why. Because a true leader never tries to be a leader. Leadership is a result of a process. And it starts at the bottom. And this is why when people decide, I'm going to be a leader, they never become a leader. Because the average reality is that a true leader doesn't even know when they become a leader. People have to tell them. Here's why. You start from the bottom. First, they discover a sense of purpose. Purpose is discovering an original reason for your birth. You begin to discover that I was not a mistake. I'm not a biological mishap. Now this has to happen to you personally. There has to be a point somewhere in your life where you got a revelation that I was born to do something important. You will never become a leader until that happens to you somewhere along the line in your life. There's got to be an encounter with yourself and with your Creator, which defines that you were born for a purpose. There was an intent for your birth. When a person discovers that, then the second experience kicks in, and that is conviction. Everybody say conviction. All true leaders have conviction. What is conviction? Write it down. Conviction is a belief in your significance. Now, what does that mean? When you discover your purpose, you automatically discover that you are important to the world. I know that sounds almost unimaginable for you. There's this experience you go through. I don't know if Pastor Dave went through that yet, but that experience you will go through, Dave, where you suddenly realize, I am important to the world. I have something they need. And that's hard to accept because you're going to have to believe in your own importance. And you've been conditioned to believe you are not important. My culture taught me that I must not speak of myself too much. That I must not be proud. I must not be so self-confident. And our culture gravitates against the idea that I am special. And they call it selfishness. So psychologically, deep in your mind, you are conditioned not to believe you are significant. As a matter of fact, to prove it, you are so busy trying to fit in, you never stand out. We are driven to be accepted instead of being exceptional. And you're battling this because this is our culture. So conviction is when you discover I was born for a purpose and the world needs my purpose. I hope you get that in this class the next few weeks. Somehow you have a connection with who you are and why you are. Conviction. Now I'm going to tell you about conviction. Because conviction will always begin to show up in pictures. And that's why number 3 is vision. You begin to see how you're supposed to help the world. You begin to see how you're supposed to contribute to your generation. Again, this is tough teaching this because I can feel it. You've been trained to get a job, pay bills, and die. That's it. And that's what you're living for. You're living to go to a job, pay some bills, and then die. That's about the life of a human today. No significance, no importance, no value, no worth, no contribution to humanity, no transforming your generation, no impacting the nation, no making a difference in your community. It's just get a job, pay bills, die. What a tragic human reality. That's why it's tough for me to teach this, because I'm teaching against your culture. I'm teaching against your mental reality. I am fighting strongholds in your head that resist this very statement. That you were born for a reason that gives you a conviction that you're supposed to see in a vision. People capture this at different ages of their lives, depending on the kind of culture they are in. If you are in a culture where there is a lot of positive affirmation and a positive encouragement, you'll find it early. But if you are in a culture where people don't believe you can do anything, and they tell you your limitations constantly, and they remind you how you're not supposed to achieve anything, and they reinforce how you are dumb, you're not smart, you can't achieve certain things, and you live in that culture, you probably find it when you're 70. That is why you shouldn't miss a Wednesday evening, because this place, every Wednesday, I want to create an environment where you'll catch it now. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to live a miserable life where you are basically employed and never deployed. It's tough to find people with vision. By the way, vision is purpose in pictures. I call it purpose in technicolor. When you begin to see your purpose in pictures, it is called vision. It's like a seed seeing the tree with fruit on it. That's vision. The seed sees itself as a tree with fruit in it, while it is a seed. That's vision. Most of us are trained not to believe our visions. As a matter of fact, we are conditioned to be afraid of them, because your vision is a photograph of your end. And the problem is, we believe our beginning is our end. We are born in certain conditions where we believe this is my plight forever. I have come to tell you that the end of a thing is greater than its beginning. You're not supposed to die where you was born. I'm talking about state of life. Your vision is your future address. Your vision is your destiny in photographs. You have to see it. You have to see it.